That is how we get stability. That is how we stop the insanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Ford. Trustee Galapa?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to go back to something that was asked of our council earlier. If I'm not mistaken, I couldn't find it right now, but I believe that if no action was taken and the 30 days notice was not given to the January 15th, I believe the stipulation said that it would auto-renew for 30 days and then go on. And I'm sorry that I do not have that exact thing in front of me right now. The other things that I want to make clear is that I would not have any objection to this type of review being done and this being looked at. I wrote on Monday a very specific email to Trustee Cepeda, President Cepeda, and to our council asking, where's the fire? What's the big rush? Are we going to ignore the elephant in the room, which is the election? We can't ignore that because that's been brought up by numerous people. So what we have to look at is this is not the only time. I'm speaking for myself, but I also asked if there had been any conferring on this, and there hadn't been. The President, it is her discretion. This is not the only time that we could have had this. We are excluding the community by having this meeting at this time. This doesn't mean that I disagree with everything that's going on right now, or that we shouldn't have the review, or that we shouldn't look at compensation. I am saying that 9 o'clock on a Wednesday morning is not the most optimal time, and the optics are so bad with what I think Mr. Walker had brought up with the distrust of the board, the superintendent, the district, that we would do something that would be so blatantly non-transparent and non-accountable to our community. We are not elected by data points. We are not elected by just unknown entities. We are elected by working families, people, parents that have children in our district, by teachers that have basically come to our meetings time after time after time. This did not have to happen like this. We still could have done the same thing, but done it at an evening meeting and been more transparent and still try to achieve what the intent of this is. So I just want to go on the record saying is that I'm not against the intent of this, but it's again like a lot of things in the district that happen. The what is so good, and we are given the what. The how goes to the superintendent as it should go. He is the operational boss of our district. We have to stay in our lane on that. But how this was rolled out is, I believe, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it bluntly, I believe that it's shameful and it is not inclusive of the diversity and of our entire community, including parents, students who wrote to me who said they wanted to be here, our businesses, our bargaining units, everyone. So this is something that should not have been rolled out in this manner. Thank you. I timed that well. By the way, it's World Teachers Day today. I just want to throw that out there. So I hope that we could do something that is nice for our teachers.
Thank you, Trustee Velasquez. Trustee Garcia Morales?
Madam President, Representative Usher, I just feel happy to put my name to
You can go ahead.
I appreciate it. We have 300,000 students in our school district, 366 schools, over 40,000 employees. There's a lot at stake here, and I am incredibly conscious of members of our community who have spoken today, who have shared in the past that this appears to be that we're not listening, that in fact actually we are listening. I'm listening. It's incredibly painful, and unless you're sitting in this chair, you don't understand. And we do our best to keep it together, to develop unity for a district that has hurt for many, many years, before Superintendent Jara arrived to CCSD, before any of us were. There were comments brought up around the infrastructure of our state has really created challenges that impact our day-to-day lives. It doesn't help when members who are elected to be in this position to make hard choices have a difficult time, actually create more chaos on the how. We are responsible for the what, but when there are members who are constantly pulling public records on each other, who are doing public interviews outside of the board policy, who are not in their lane, who don't stay in their lane, it makes it incredibly difficult to even sit in this position. And then to defend and make choices that you know are going to benefit the school district. Are we where we need to be? Absolutely not. Our inability to take action today will continue to have consequences just the way that we have experienced them for many, many, many years. It's a big ask. It's a big ask to say, yes, maybe we have not been trustworthy. Maybe this board has made poor decisions in the past. There's some really great things happening in this school district right now. And the list starts with providing support to our schools that need it the most with the recent transformation that was created. We've raised salaries for employees. There's discussions around what it looks like for the future too, because we have not ignored the community's concerns. There are constant conversations about what else we can do to improve our school district, and it's happening right now. They may not happen before the dais, but we are elected here to represent our community and to also share what the great things that are taking place in our community. And it's unfortunate that some members don't get that out.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Trustee Brooks.
Thank you. I couldn't add more. I think Trustee Garcia Morales has captured my sentiments. So with that, I am going to move to approve item 3.01, noting that we have a lot of work to do in this district, and the only way that we're going to do it is by moving forward together and keeping building on this foundation that we are consistently building on.
Trustee Brooks, just for clarification purposes, you said 3.01. I assume you mean 2.01.
Sorry, 2.01. Thank you.
Trustee Brooks, Trustee Williams?
I second.
Thank you. I do want to give just final thoughts here. There's been a lot said. And again, as we're here on the dais, I don't want to disparage anyone, so I'll just stick to kind of what my story here is. As president this year, it's been the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, especially coming from a year where, again, presidents set the agenda. We spent absolutely 0% talking about student outcomes. 0%. Every research on school boards say that highly effective boards talk about student outcomes at least 50% of the time. So I carry that around and I say it every single time, and I hate that I feel like it's such a broken record, but we didn't spend a single time. And before that, Quinn Center, I believe they did a research that we were maybe at about 11%. Again, just noting that we would rather talk about adult issues, adult problems, and forget about our students. That was so frustrating of 2021. It was so frustrating because that's what I took this position on for, was to talk about students, student outcomes, and see how we can mitigate gaps, how we can get students to read at grade level, to do math at their appropriate level. But we've been doing that this year. We set goals, which we haven't done in years. We set metrics to measure those goals. We've talked at least about one student outcome every single meeting. Probably the exception of February, because we're still trying to figure out our goals here and evaluating them. So I'm coming from that context. I'm coming from a year of good governance, a year of actually talking about students, and we start to see the work actually having some roots here. So I'm looking to Brenda Larson Mitchell because she's amazing, and our superintendent, again, not an easy job. This isn't an easy job, so that's kind of where I'm coming from. Is there more? Absolutely, but I think for today, that's kind of where my mindset is, knowing that there's still a lot of healing to do, a lot of work to do. So, trustees, we have a motion by Trustee Brooks and a second by Trustee Williams. All right, the motion passes 4-3, 4-0 to 3. I have Superintendent in the queue first. Did you want comments? Trustee Cavazos?
Yes, I know that we have new policies to where we are not able to see when people, and for a good reason that we did change that when people are talking. Can we get a roll call vote on that, even though it is evident on that? I'd like to get an audio vote for that, please, for the meeting.
Oh, okay, yeah. So our 3 no's were Trustee Cavazos, Trustee Guzman, and Trustee Ford, and our 4 yeas were Trustee Gross, Trustee Cepeda, Trustee Garcia Morales, and Trustee Williams.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Trustee Cavazos. Trustee Ford?
Yeah, I just want on the record, I think everybody understands that this was not necessary to do at this time. His contract is on expire for 3 months, and even then it'll roll over month by month. So if and when the time comes in January and we have to terminate for convenience and pay out the superintendent nearly $2 million, it will be because of the 4 yes votes that just happened at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Ford. Trustee, let's see. Superintendent Jara, go ahead.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, I am extremely grateful for the opportunity that has been granted by the majority of this board to continue to lead this great district. We have ways to go. I don't deny that. But we have to really continue to stay focused on the health, safety, the well-being of our 300,000 lives that I am humbled and honored to serve as their superintendent. We don't have moments to waste for their opportunity for success, regardless of where they live, what they look like, and how they show up every single day. I am committing with our 40,000 employees that we will meet all our children where they are as they come and continue to devote our time and energy that they can succeed. So thank you, and please know that our hardworking educators in our classrooms, I say this, and I know we say this to our schools, to our teachers, the most important place is not my office, not this seat, it's a classroom. And we have done some good work as a board this year, and I said this yesterday to the LBGEA and other community leaders that are talking about where we are. This has been a great year to move us forward because I've had the support of the majority of this board, so thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. We'll move on to agenda item 3.01, upcoming meeting of the Board of Trustees. Our next meeting is Thursday, October 13th at 5 o'clock. We'll be here in the boardroom. So moving on to public comment on non-agenda items. Again, if you have public comment on non-agenda, now's the time to make sure you turn in your card so that way we can get it in the folder. Okay, we'll start with Ms. Maisha Hall. Bill,
No worries. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maisha T. Hill. I am a descendant of the Akan tribe of Ghana, and I am occupying stolen Narumu, Southern Paiute land, home of the Mawapa Band tribe of the Southern Paiutes and the Las Vegas tribe of the Paiutes. I'm new to the district, and boy, what I came here to say makes a lot of sense of why I'm having some of the issues I'm having with my daughter. Give you context, I'm a restorative justice practitioner, DEI consultant, and I have a company called Check Your Privilege, which helps individuals, all of us, it's not about race, heal our collusion with structural racism. And sitting here watching all of us as adults, no wonder our children experience what they experience in the classroom, because as adults, we have a hard time mitigating our conflict. Do you know how they restored the conflict of the South African apartheid? They held listening sessions, and they had the community involved, and they asked parents and stakeholders that I've sit here and witnessed come to the table and create resolutions. But I'm not here for that today. I'm here to, number one, give Dr. Jara and all of you a copy of this book, Heal Your Way Forward, because this district needs to heal its way forward. And I'm excited to be a part of the solution. So my daughter is not in school today because she has been the target of anti-Black discrimination, bullying, and harassment at an elementary school in Summerlin. My son was also the target of something similar at the middle school. Last Friday at the Palo Verde High School football game, homecoming game, I witnessed 3 Black girls be discharged from a game after they were assaulted by some boys inside the football game. And because our district lacks cultural competency for staff and students, we now have Black girls and Black boys in our district being treated like adults. My daughter is 9 years old. She has a 504. She has autism. No child in the district deserves to experience what my family has experienced. Black, Indigenous, Asian, white, no child deserves to be discriminated against in Clark County School District. And so my question is when are we going to fix the policies? Because there's the code of conduct that has, like, what consequences look like. There's the new restorative justice policy that came from the anti-racist policy. And there's this other third piece that no one is trained on. And so I have a letter that I sent to Aaron McCarty that I have CC Dr.